Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon. Fiction's duality in reflecting reality and the self. Like-minded fellows, aspiring writers. Literature's been shoved aside in the world of art. What is left for us to do? Let stories be our weapon. They should be the sword that cuts through the bloody truth, the beacon that lights up.
Hey!
I'm a writer, and I mostly write under the name Erd.
Erd? Have you written for Atu? Are you the Erd in Atu?
It's an important part of my visit to hear all the ideas and opinions. In these restless times, literature has been overlooked, forgotten, much like Ushuaia.
million.
Let's take a step back. Pull you out of that whirlwind of passion and dreams. If you want to make the best call, you need to zero in on what really matters. So what's your take on that big speech? A sudden explosion that shook Latin American literary circles about 30 years ago. It was destructive, but also gave rise to new life. Lucky for us, we don't have to worry about shell shock in the literary world. It's not about knowing literature. Any soldier with little experience can deliver a status report. All right, eyes on the map. As we speak, ships are lined up on the Spanish coast, but this time, they're poised to make a new kind of discovery. And here are our new Columbuses, heading to the docks to embark on their journey. Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America. Carmen, with an eye for opportunity and a mind for business, sought out the continent's literary gems and secured generous publishing deals for them. Carlos, with his deep understanding of market dynamics, brought these works to the eyes of the European public. Then, a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy. And soon, the entire world was captivated by the story of a baby with a pig's tail from a faraway land. But we mustn't forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child. And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution, will forever be etched in the annals of history. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other. Friendship. It was. But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With the second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook, and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice, a new method to speak on their disappointment, their horror. And they became the new guerrillas.
La investigadora se despierta en su cueva en la duna, que le parecía tan vacía como una tumba. Era poco antes del amanecer. Montones de cintas habían ocupado su espacio vital, apilándose una y otra vez. Cada uno de estos carretes giratorios hablaba de historias sobre esa cabaña con techo azul. Oyó la voz del asesinado conductor de burros detrás de ella. Oigo a todos ellos, las risas y las voces de generaciones pasadas, como hojas secas atrapadas en las grietas de viejas paredes, crujiendo solo cuando el viento sopla otra vez. No pondría un pie en esa casa si fuera tú. El mendigo al lado de la puerta también habló. Duermo en el porche cada noche. Cada mañana una luz tenue brilla a través de la ventana. Pero nadie sale nunca por esa puerta. Y nadie ha entrado nunca. Luego la voz del empleado del banco. Es la historia del alter ego. Esa casa debe haber estado llena de deudas que nadie reclamaría. La anciana enferma, luchando en su cama, susurró. La casa recuerda esos días, cuando la gente desaparecía en la oscuridad de la noche y los niños eran robados por las tormentas. La investigadora de paracausalidad había oído suficiente y volvió a dormirse. Solo quedaba el traqueteo del dado de Babilonia, resonando en su cueva vacía.
I've always wanted to use the element of fantasy to better establish our theme. And I was right. Now the stage is captivating, the timing is perfect, and the audience is ideally placed. Only one imperfect element remains in the scene. The creator, who hasn't stepped away from his creation. No. There's another thing.
Can you even tell any difference between today's setup and yesterday's?
Seriously, Roberta? That's a rude question.
Well, what's the difference then?
I can't see one either, but you should never judge art by how much it changes in a day. It's a creative process. We might be standing at the edge of the world, but art has no boundaries. We have to show him our support.
Easy for you to say. He's been tinkering and tweaking for over 3 months. Even if the idealist himself entrusted him with this exhibition, he can still be wrong sometimes. This gallery is turning into a dump.
Estoy viendo fantasmas, todos con las mismas caras, García. Demasiados. Es fácil perderse en ellos.
Idealist, you're back. Are these new recruits for La Sociedad? You must have had a very successful day.
It is good to see you, Garcia. How has your vision progressed today?
First a salon, and now an art gallery. Is this really a prison?
As you can see, I've strived to push the element of fantasy in my work so that it might reach perfection. But why doesn't it look like what I imagine? It's like I'm trying to work on a shadow. Some shapeless thing that morphs and shifts by the hour. Idealist, am I losing it again? I took my medicine as instructed.
It was never the pills that blinded you, my dear Garcia. You mustn't let tedious routine stifle what's truly alive. Remember, like those old poems, your exhibition must have a timeless rhythm that's never lost to the changing of minds.
Sorry, maybe I'm just not getting it.
Look up. There's your answer. Though the sun rises the same way every day, the multitudes of shadows it casts are ever changing. Isn't that the only constant in life? Change? We foolishly pursue stability and constancy, but our very world denies it. Take a step back. Take several. and see the truth for yourself, lest you too become lost among the shifting shadows.
I get it now. It's the changing light that makes the exhibit seem different from what I expected. I shouldn't waste my time on freezing things in one perfect moment. Instead, I need to embrace change as it comes. I don't know how to thank you. I won't let you down. I must complete this exhibition. Complete my alter ego.
Did you say alter ego? And he called you Garcia. Is that your name? Garcia, where did you learn about this alter ego? Do you happen to write under the name...
Please, Recoleta, give our artist some space. Can't you see? He's already returned to his own time and space. He can't hear a thing you say.
He's right. Garcia is deep in his own head now. He won't hear a thing until he's done with whatever he has to do. Even if the floor were to collapse out under us, I think he will be left standing in the air without even noticing. Pardon me then.
All right, my dear guests, please forgive my late introduction. Welcome to the Gallery of Bewilderment.
Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Idealist.
I imagine you're curious about what we do here in the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. We're putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Kamala, our very own Casa de las Americas.
¿Casa de las Américas?
Exactly. Named after its great predecessor. You're a fine mind indeed. At this very moment, all our compañeros are working on it. Garcia's exhibition, Alter Ego, is centered around the birth of this magazine. And here, you can see the signatures from all the poets involved, along with a few words they've written for it. Reading it is like looking into the soul of our society.
All these signatures. Timekeeper, here! It's Dr. Doris' pseudonym, Erd. Then she was here.
Precisely. She used to be one of us, and still is, if I may correct myself. You can ask around here. Maybe some of our members know where she went. Don't we all miss the familiar faces of old friends? I'm sure they'll do everything they can to help you find yours.
Mr. Idealist, I finished my short story. It's called Weightlessness. It drifts around the subject like a ship floating in space. The readers can start anywhere in the story, or read it in any order they like.
And please take a look at my piece Off Limits! Every word that has been forbidden is either erased or replaced with symbols. It's a one-of-a-kind jarring experience.
And I finished a new paragraph. Just wrote it today. Oh, new faces. Welcome.
Idealist, did he just...
This is the writer for the prologue of our magazine. The prologue consists of a 2,000-line poem and an introduction that is written in 86 languages to avoid misinterpretation. It represents every second we spend here. Naturally, the arrival of new members disrupts its structure, and so we must begin again from scratch.
So he just tore it all up like that because he thought we were joining? With all due respect, isn't this a little excessive? Heaven knows I'm not one to judge. I've torn up plenty of writing for my novel.
Please, pay it no mind. It may not be an easy task, but he's doing his part. Destruction is hard, but more necessary than you think. Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant pond, with all the smells that entail.
This all sounds very complicated. When will your magazine be finished then? Forgive me, but I'm not sure what a floating sheet, a jarring reading experience, and all this constant rewriting are meant to express.
뭐야, 교도관 있었어?
As I've said, Komala isn't like any other prison.
Miss Jailer, do you mean...
This place also serves as a research center, and the prisoners here, for all they claim, are not just poets. They are arcanist criminals, and each one of them has been diagnosed as mentally ill.
You're quite right, Jailer. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm? You, the physician, or the ones outside these walls? We've been exiled here by the standards of our time, deprived of our roles in the outside world. So please, as we agreed before, I ask you not to interfere with the affairs of La Sociedad.
These people are visitors, not your new recruits.
But should we not hear their thoughts first? My friends, no one escapes the eye of power. We must resist. Stand with us. Pick up your pen and take poetry as your shield before it is too late.
Idealist, I admire your fight, but I came here with a different goal.
We're the last true owners of an old legend, words now only remembered as myth. We must stay on the path of literature until I find that transcendental solution. To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing, yet precise. My poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation. How blessed is a man with infallible memory. He holds the finer details of each object within him, more vivid than anyone else. In the end, he'll have all the answers, if time allows him.
Sweet tongue, sister howls, hermaphrodite, tango. They put the whole city in the nut house.
Timekeeper, look over there. Isn't that the prologue writer? There's something off about him. Please, Timekeeper, stay away from him.
What's happening?
Idealist, Pablo's having another episode.
Multiples of us. You make reality sick.
I could use your help, ladies.
보관이 할 일 아니냐고. 뭐야?
Oh, I got it now.
La acumulación de laberintos. Suéltalo todo una vez más.
That's another shift. 强梁既出，王有不为。
Awaken. Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo.
Stop.
No sé,
Oh, yes. I got this. I can do it.
nuestro adversario es el tiempo.
Up and at it. Behold the phenomenal world.
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table.
Poor soul. I'll bring him to bed. Well done, ladies. Aren't you full of surprises?
What was all that?
It seems he had a mental breakdown and lost control of his arcane skill. It appears that every line he recited carried unbridled power.
Usually, only specific lines can channel arcane energy. You can't just force the power into words or craft a poem to serve your purpose. Pablo must have a rare gift for identifying empowered lines. When he recited them all aloud, they overwhelmed him.
That's right. He's a genius who writes the tides of emotion, just like Arthur Rimbaud. We always keep a close eye on him to make sure he doesn't recite anything while reading or writing. But sometimes things slip through.
You must understand how difficult it is for a poet to never taste the words on his own lips.
맞는 말이긴.
So then, this isn't the first time, and you're all fully aware of it. Do I understand you right? Did you just admit that you've been hiding an inmate with a dangerous condition from us? According to the safety regulations for the Panopticon of Kamala, he must be sent to the physician for immediate treatment.
No, wait. We can explain. He's doing fine. We know how to help him. This was just an accident. We got distracted by the new members.
We won't be handing him over to the physician. No true writer would allow their mind, the most sacred palace of their thoughts, to be opened up to that cold-hearted, ignorant butcher. Even one who believes their inspiration flows from a source beyond the mere substance of a brain would refuse it.
진짜. 비록 지금 그들은 외부 환경에 반한 안에 항상 입을 꾹 다물고 있지만 교도소에 며칠만 머물러도 그들이 이곳에 발붙이게 된 이유가 바로 그것에 대해 더 이상 이해하고 싶지 않아서라는 걸 알 수 있다. 우스아이아는 아르헨티나 변경에 있는 추운 마을이다. 그게 얼어붙은 바다 그리고 지척에 있는 남극은 변함없이 기나긴 겨울이 이어지고 있어서 모든 것이 지층 밑에 잠든 채 시간이 흐르고 시간에 잊히는 듯 했다. 이것이 교도소를 세우는 데 없어서는 안 되는 중요한 특성이라는 걸 의심할 여지가 없는데 정신병을 앓고 있는 마도학자 용의자는 이 교도소를 이송되어 잊히는 특성을 가진 이곳처럼 비춰갔다. 광증의 정의와 죄수의 신분을 제쳐두고 내가 이 교도소에서 실제로 본 건 한때 시인, 작가, 사회활동가였던 사람이다. 그 시대에서 시에 관한 이야기를 했던 어떤 사람은 장폴 사르트르의 책 한 권을 가지고 있다는 이유로 사회에서 지워졌다. 종속관계에 속해 있는 사람은 학생을 버렸다는 이유로 유배됐다. 그들은 왜 이 책을 읽는 거지? 이 시들은 왜 이 시들을 쓰는 거지? 질문은 수없이 받아왔다. 사상 조직자라는 죄명을 씌워지며 결국 이곳에 오게 되고 훅과 정식 분석이라는 명분의 실험을 참여하게 됐다. 우리는 더 이상 그들의 광증이 규율을 어겨 사회로부터 광증이라고 정의된 건지 아니면 끝없는 전기 충격과 고문으로 인한 건지 그것도 아니면 애초에 모든 것이 다 원인인지 알 수 없게 됐다. 한 사람의 삶이 원인과 깊은 관련이 있다는 걸 모두가 잘 알기 때문에 종종 외면당하거나 미화되거나 무시당했다. 그들이 처음에 입을 꾹 닫는 건 확실했다. 하지만 이러한 의도적인 회피야말로 그들의 슬픔과 두려움을 진짜로 변하고 있었다. 몸으로 남겨주시다.
Fate. Yes. It looms over us, yet each of us may hold the power to steer its course.
알렙.
I didn't know you've written to Aleph too.
왜 자꾸 그걸 말해주려고 하는 거야? 알래?
Aleph. truly flattered by your invitation. I'd be delighted to join the Poetry Society. But might I trouble you with one question, Mr. Idealist?
알레포 대체 누구야? 아니 뭐야 이거 하나 어딨어? 있는디?
This is a serious violation of the rules. I'll have to report this to the physician, and all of your treatments will need to be reassessed. Until a new treatment plan is in place, all members of La Sociedad are confined to their cells without any of their usual privileges.
This is not what we agreed to!
You gave us your word! Affairs within La Sociedad were not to be disturbed!
Please, don't do this. Please, he doesn't deserve this. No one does. We don't want to lose our friend.
Please, Senora. I swear it won't happen again. I'll take the medicine on time as instructed. I promise I won't hurt anyone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pablo, but rules are rules.
Before you take this poor man from his friends, may I ask you something? Do you know where these inmates go after they see the physician?
My duty is to keep order here. What happens beyond these walls is not my concern. Perhaps they've recovered from the physician's treatment and were returned to society.
Within these walls, the only truth we know is this. No one returns from the clinic of the physician of Kamala. Are you certain this treatment they received is really a cure?
Pablo is harmless. He's just a writer who has a talent for finding words in poems. That's all. Please, let him stay. We'll look after him. He can have our share of the medicine. We'll keep him in check.
But this doesn't conform to our regulations.
Still as arrogant as ever, Idealist. One day, you'll get us all killed.
Oh, it's you. I'm glad to see you here.
Who is that?
That's Octavia, one of our model inmates. She's been a great help in the past. If you're interested in prison literature, I'd suggest talking to her instead of the Idealist.
So, she's a writer too?
Who would have thought? This place has got writers coming out of the woodwork. I thought it would be easy to find my writer friend in a prison. But what are the odds that I'd break into a place absolutely lousy with them?
She used to be in their gatherings, until she got tired of their nonsense and started her own faction.
What are you doing here, Octavia? Haven't you heard? The era of chieftains, ghosts, and plantation stories is over. Visceral realism is the future.
And has this brilliant visceral realism helped you finish any of these poems?
옥타비아 이쁘다.
What a waste of time. I'm not interested in your movement or arguing with you. I just walked by and happened to witness another episode of your brutal arrogance. And I'm not about to just stand aside and watch you repeat your mistakes. I'm taking Pablo to the physician. Care to lend a hand, Miss Jailer?
We agreed to mind our own business. Are you breaking our agreement? No one will be allowed to erase a word from our poems.
뭐야 나 어느 편에 또 싸우는 거야? 뭐야 둘 다 싸우고 있어.
I got it!
Haven't you let your ego cause enough trouble, idealist?
Better that than siding with the devil like you.
Enough. Please, what I'm good at. 强梁既出，王有不为。You won't get away. Just enough. What I'm good at. These sheets are my wings. Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report.
Stand down, both of you. You've never listened. I pity your followers. To be led by such a reckless megalomaniac. Do you even think about the consequences of your actions? We fought hard to earn the freedom to discuss literature under their watch. Your impulsive ego threatens to destroy everything we've built here.
Spare me the lecture, Octavia. We don't need permission to do as we please. You're just another puppet of power, kneeling to the eyes behind those glass walls. They've trained you to believe it was your own decision, to be good and conform. Who could have done a better job? When I look at you, all I see is a sheep, docile and obedient, just the way the tower wants. What kind of work could someone like you create? Literature isn't defended by those lounging in cozy rooms, scribbling to soothing music.
Have you looked in a mirror, idealist? You've become a pathetic windmill-tilting fool, a monster tearing down everything around you.
A beast of prey, you mean? Naturally, a sheep would be appalled by the mere thought of such a creature. A fearful sheep caught in a vine, confusing the blade that would set it free with the jaws of a lion.
Such a master of metaphor. But I beg you, learn to distinguish right from wrong, fantasy from reality. Only then can you truly lead our people toward what's right.
Distinguish right from wrong? Don't make me laugh. Is that the limit of your vision?
You...
Compañeros, friends, listen to me. There is no truer home to literature than a prison.
오 맞네.
No. No! Who did this?
Hands behind your head and drop to your knees. All of you, now! This is your last warning.
Idealist, you're bleeding. It's in your chest.
You must.
Yes. Idealist?
What's going on?
뭐야?
Was he shot? Where did the bullet come from? Miss Jailer and you ladies over there, come give me a hand. We need to get him to the physician.
Did you do this, Octavia? You couldn't face the burning truth of his words, so you pierced his very heart instead. Justice was blazing with the fire of justice.
갑자기 선동질을
Or was it you, Jin? Did you intend to crush the voice of poetry beneath your wheel of power? It has to be one of you devils in disguise, beasts in human skin.
Can't you see? I had nothing to do with this. I'm as innocent as any of you. I've been trying to keep order here, to protect everyone. And now you blame me?
Don't listen to her! The idealist made it very clear! She's trying to get us punished for her own gain!
아니 미친.
You're a murderer, Octavia!
This is mad. You're accusing me without proof. It wasn't me.
This is getting out of hand. I suggest you ladies leave now.
No, wait! It all happened too fast. What happened to the idealist? Is he alright? I didn't even get a chance to ask about Aleph.
I agree with the jailer. Timekeeper, Miss Recoleta, let's get out of here.
His vitals are gone. At last, some peace and quiet. Well, for a liar and a thief like him, there's hardly a better end than this. Just as I thought. You had it all along.
저 새끼 막아라.
What are you all standing around for? Can't you see Julio's hurting himself? It's Mr. Julio. He's hurt. Bleeding.
Sounds like he's having an epileptic seizure. Perhaps I could offer some help. Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
You seem experienced. Was it a major part of your responsibilities in Sao Paulo?
You're well prepared for your vision and ambition, for modesty is such an essential part of writing, and you've just demonstrated a skillful use of introspection.
Thank you for your kind words. It was foolish to think that ideas alone could ease people's pain. Puzzles on top of puzzles.
있다가 있다가 아닌가?
Questions after questions. My head.
생각해보니까 정신과 의사한테 뇌졸중환자를 보듯 뭐해?
I can't do this anymore.
Ladies, I must apologize for what happened back there.
홍기 났어. 진짜.
We were caught off guard. There has never been a commotion of that scale before. I must report this to the physician.
Don't worry, Miss Jailer. We made it out in one piece.
Thank you for your understanding. Ordinarily, I would arrange to escort you to a safer location, but I'm afraid at this hour you'll have missed the last train. And the roads are icy at night.
Psst. Vernon, we can't leave like this. We appreciate your kind consideration, Miss Jailer, but we still have some unfinished business here.
I see. I'll arrange a clean room in a safer section for you. We'll do our best to ensure your safety tonight.
이렇게까지 해주네.
They actually found us a spare room.
Bleak, quiet, and somber. It's a cell like all the others.
여기.
Don't worry.
심플한.
This isn't the first time we've ended up on the wrong side of the
이건
bars.
처음이 아니라고 말하는 것도 이상하지 않아?
At least this time we're just here for the night. Not a full sentence.
Though, this cell is quite different from the ones we've been in before.
Not just the cell. The whole prison is unlike anything I've seen. And this society they've been running here isn't some mere pastime. They're having real discussions about meaningful topics, even though the rest of the world has been cut off from them.
But we're still in an Arcanist prison. A place where conflicts and violence can erupt at any moment. Let's not forget that. Miss Jailer warned us from the start. These prisoners are mentally unstable and potentially dangerous. Miss Recoleta, with all due respect, we can't afford to see this place through rose-colored glasses. We'd be overlooking the risks, as we did earlier.
And with all due respect, Soneto, we didn't overlook any danger. At least I didn't. A writer must be observant if she is to accurately reflect the world in her writing.
But you...
We came here with different goals. And still, none of them have been accomplished. I suggest we focus on our respective missions, instead of fighting with one another.
Apologies, Timekeeper. Miss Recoleta, I take back everything I said.
Don't apologize, Soneto. I'm at fault too. Sometimes I forget that words can be as sharp as swords. You were only thinking about our safety. I shouldn't have been so rude. I actually really admire how you fought back there. If you'd allow me, I'd like to write a poem for you, once my novel's finished.
That's terribly kind of you. But honestly, I think we've had enough poetry today to last a lifetime.
Let me know if you change your mind. By the way, did either of you see what happened to the Idealist?
The jailer told me she went back to the gallery once everything calmed down. She found nothing. No blood, no shell cases, not even a trace of the Idealist.
Timekeeper, now's really not the time for ghost stories.
Do you mean that maybe the Idealist somehow managed to get out of there on his own?
그건 아니지
Or
않을까?
perhaps someone else helped him?
Well, according to the Idealist and our jailer, any inmates who are unwell will be taken to the physician. It's possible someone brought him there,
꿀쭉 맞은 거.
while everyone else was shouting and running about.
You're right. It could be that he's with the physician right now. I'm relieved. That was a sudden plot twist, but a visionary of his magnitude doesn't deserve to die in silence like that.
To be fair, the gunshot was quite loud, as was the ensuing commotion.
Nonetheless, he couldn't have just died like that. I mean, the writers would riot if a writer were to kill off a character so abruptly. But you believe he's still alive too, am I right?
글쎄요.
There's nothing that we can be certain of for now. But on a brighter note, we didn't come back empty-handed from our mission either, Sonetto. We found Dr. Dorres' signature in the gallery. You were right all along, Recoleta. She was here.
But we didn't see her at the gathering. Could something have happened to her, like with the Idealist?
Do you think she was also sent to the physician and never made it back?
This is all just speculation. If we want to find the Idealist, or Dr. Dorres, we need to speak to this physician first. Miss Recoleta, do you believe that the Idealist could be your pen pal, Aleph?
Whether he is or not, he's still my best lead. Amigas, I've had this strange feeling in my gut since we got here. Something is slowing us down. Now, to figure out what it is... Look, it's a wild guess, but just wait till I finish. It feels like everything happening in this prison is somehow connected to my novel, El auge y la caída de la cordura.
We're no strangers to wild guesses, and sometimes they're closer to the truth than you'd think. So this...
The rise and fall of sanity.
Sorry. What exactly is your story about?
Huh. Nunca pensé que te interesaría. It starts... Sorry, it's been a while since I told it from the beginning. A few years ago, I worked as a forest ranger. It happened in a desert town called Amalfitana, in Sonora back in 1975. You know what? Most people say the beginning's a bit hard to get into, except for Aleph. I'm thinking of rewriting it. But if you like the sound of it so far, maybe I could read you the latest part I just finished?
Please.
Todo empezó con los datos de frecuencia de las cintas.
El patrón general parecía haber cambiado. Al principio, la investigadora de paracausalidad lo atribuyó a un error estadístico. Un fallo, tal vez. Oh, sorry. But after a few days and long nights of meticulous calculations, that explanation only became less and less plausible. The odds of success and failure kept shifting, and the chance of repeating the previous result kept growing. It was as if someone had tampered with the rules and tweaked it to their liking. She took her findings to Amalfitano, the town of nothing, as they called it then. Near the old looms, she met a blind weaver who spoke softly of an old tale. I heard a strange rustling at dawn, like a die rolling along a wooden floor. Then the morning light dimmed and died. That was the last time I saw the sun, my own hands, or the threads I worked with. The second time I heard the die roll, I was told the oxen in the fields sank to their knees and never stood again. By the third roll, the fields were crawling with frogs. Plows ran over them, and some still writhed, squeezing themselves deeper into the cracks in the earth. The fourth time the die rolled, 10 dormice plunged into the sea in a strange sleepwalk, and 10 bears feasted for the last time before winter arrived. The final roll of the die was cast in a cage during a duel. Before a crowd of eager eyes, the winner left with 10 pounds of gold, and the loser left with 10 flies, which fell on him to feast.
Is that all?
Seems like it.
Well, there's more, but I haven't quite figured those parts out yet. Any thoughts? Anything. I can take it. Please, I really need some feedback.
I wonder if the protagonist ever finds this Die of Babylon in the end.
Oh, Vertin, it isn't a real die, it's just a metaphor.
그렇구나.
Oh, I see. I must have missed that. Sorry. Still, it's
애절하고
a beautiful
무한적인
story.
이야기도 아니었던 것 같은데.
Sad, but beautiful.
The story is still too obscure, isn't it? Aleph warned me about this. In our last correspondence, he suggested adding the blind weaver to shed light on the hidden theme. It helped at first, but even with his sage advice, no matter how hard I tried, the plot just didn't seem to move forward. Feel stuck in that village with them, lost, dazed, isolated inside their small, disconnected moments. Something crucial is missing, leaving gaps between the characters and the scenes. Should I change the storyteller's perspective? Start a different angle? Or maybe rewrite the characters completely? What should I do?
Apologies, but you said your story somehow connects to what's happening here in the Panopticon. What makes you think that?
그러게.
It's a strange feeling. Like, everything here belongs to a dream I once had. Only, I can't remember it.
Do you mean that you have a sense of déjà vu? It's nothing to worry about. Our psychiatrist friend Kakania told me those moments are often the result of a dysfunctional connection between two parts of the brain. Like a little glitch in our heads.
No, it's nothing like déjà vu. Déjà vu is a single moment, a specific situation. But here it's everything. La Sociedad, the rules, the idealist, even the incidents in the gallery. Each one unfolds in a similar pattern, like the grooves on a record, telling a story I feel I've listened to before. Amalfitano and Comala. They're two sides of that same record, playing out the same tune. Whatever happens in my story seems to be happening here too. I had that feeling when I met you as well, Miss Verton. At first I thought it was only an interesting coincidence. You're much like the first character in my story. A traveler with a suitcase. But then I realized, the doctor, your Doris, she's like the blind weaver who lost her sight to the dye despite having always been faithful to it. And the jailer, she's the bank clerk who assisted the corporation in taking over the town in order to escape her past. And the idealist, he's the murdered donkey driver, and the dye of Babylon. Now, mis queridos amigos ficticios, ¿qué rayos les está pasando?
Wait. Are you saying that everyone we've met here matches a character from your story? Like some kind of archetype? That sounds unbelievable. But then again, maybe you're onto something. You see the world through a different lens that none of us share.
Not just the characters. The events here are mirroring my story too. Aleph, he's the only one who truly understood my story. If things are playing out just like my novel, then maybe Aleph is in fact still here.
Are you suggesting that someone is controlling the Panopticon in order to make it follow the same plot as your story? That they've set the rules, started the poetry group, planned the attack on the Idealist, and tried to prevent us from finding Dr. Dores? If that's true, Miss Recoleta, it's very likely that the one acting against us is in fact Aleph himself.
But no. How could that be possible? Why? Why would he do this? I don't see any reason why he'd be connected. He's an intelligent, cultured, and profound person, not a common killer. No, none of this adds up.
그게 이상적이긴 하네. 그게 현실적이긴 하네.
Dr. Doris was brought to Ushuaia by the Xeno rebels. And we know they're connected to Manus Vindicte. If this Aleph really is hiding Doris from us, he may be working with them.
Oh, my... Soneto. I didn't know you had such a flair for stories. Maybe you should join us and become a visceral realist too. I think you're only imagining things. Perhaps you were inspired by this strange prison?
Perhaps we all need to start writing our own stories. Come out now. Whoever's out there, speak up. How can we help you?
Who's there?
아, 누가 눈치는 못 챘어. 아니, 누군지 안 하는데.
Field check complete. Move carefully. Please, just another shift. 强梁既出，王有不为。Get out of here! I don't get it. You won't get away. Oh, what a... 强梁, please lend me your power. Behold the phenomenal world.
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table.
최고의 소녀에 말할 때 그들은 항상 가볍고 농담하듯이 이야기했다. 예를 들어 뇌에 기름칠을 하는 음악가가 타이를 에드워드 코야가 술에 취해 쓴 즉흥작처럼 닦았다 같은 시구가 그들의 시에 갑자기 나타나는 경우가 많았는데 그런 장면을 직접 보지 못했지만 그래도 그들이 재건의 소녀에 대해 어떤 태도를 가졌는지 알 수 있었다. 그들이 겪었던 일보다 더 심한 압박감을 보였지만 무의식적으로 그와 비슷한 점을 무시했다. 그건 도피하는 거일 수도 있고 이 교도소에 그들에게 복종을 확실히 가르쳐서일 수도 있는데 어찌되었든 그곳을 여전히 무의식 속에 존재했다. 하지만 난 재건에서는 이곳에 확실한 공포를 심어준 걸 알고 있다. 그 가면들은 마도학자들을 미치게 만들었고 고통에 빠뜨렸는데 마치 덫에 걸린 것처럼 벗어나지 못했다. 의사가 재건 쪽 사람이다. 흔한 고통 끝에 그들은 자신의 언어 한마디를 내뱉지 못하게 되면서 이 민간 조직의 단순한 사고만 할 수 있는 영혼 없는 껍데기나 다름없는 노예로 전락해버렸다. 그리고 엄청난 수의 인간이 죽어나갔다. 그들은 밤이 되어도 잠을 제대로 자지 못했는데 1시간마다 번갈아 가면서 동료들에게 깨워져 멍한 머리로 전망대 밑에 앉아 다같이 기도했다. 그리고 날이 밝으면 고강도의 훈련과 답을 말하지 않는 고문이 또다시 시작됐다. 대관의 손의 목적은 이러한 잔인한 수단 속에 숨겨져 있었다. 그건 빙원 중앙에 가장 깊은 구멍만큼이나 명확했는데 그건 바로 파괴였다. 그들의 단순한 인간을 완전히 파괴하고 싶은 거였다. 네?
Easy. It's me, Garcia. We met at the gallery earlier. Please, I come in peace.
It's you, Octavia! The murderer herself!
아니라고.
Please, calm yourself, Miss Recoleta.
손도 안 들었는데 어떻게 쏘는데?
The jailer has already confirmed that she wasn't the one to fire at the idealist. The shot came from somewhere else in the room.
뭔데?
Miss Octavia, what brings you here at this hour?
I come here out of goodwill.
진짜인가?
Believe me, I didn't want any bloodshed either. I understand you just arrived today. There's something you need to know about the
이쁜 거
inmates
보니까
here.
재건 쪽 사람인 것 같기도 하고. 재건 쪽에도 다 이쁘더라.
We're outcasts, rejected by society and literature, and our privileges are limited within these walls. But before I started my own literature group, I struck a deal with the Panopticon authorities. If we cooperate and stay out of trouble, they'd leave us be. We could discuss literature freely and openly in Comala. Such a thing may seem trivial to you, but this is of immense importance to us.
Oh, there's no happier thing in this world than discussing literature. No one should ever put limits on it.
You're right, Recoleta. But we're prisoners here. There are certain rules we have to follow. Except, the idealist didn't see it our way. He refused to compromise, believing that the long poem and his so-called ism could break us free from the cage of the ever-watchful eye.
Perhaps he was right. You might have achieved more if you'd listened to him. After all, visceral realism keeps us connected to who we are.
You have to believe in the truth of visceral realism, because out there, beyond these walls, many of us still do.
And what has it changed? Garcia, you're the latest inmate here. Tell us, 3 months ago, before they arrested you and took you here, what has the visceral realism movement accomplished out there?
At first, it was revolutionary. Young poets joined in droves. We held gatherings. And the literary world seemed alive again. I was just a kid when the leading poets left the city. Everyone thought it was only temporary. But they didn't come back, and nothing has happened since. No one says it, but we all know. Visceral realism died in 1977.
No, not for me. It's not dead as long as people still believe in it. I believe in it.
Belief, faith, what is this obsession with the true self? Why does your type always insist on there being a true self hiding beneath our roles in society? Our disciplines?
Look at the idealist. He never once stopped fighting for what he believed in, even long after he was put behind these bars.
Idealist, what a name he gave himself. Who will he be when he finally breaks free from the eyes of this central tower? When he's left without his willful audience? And nobody. That's what. And that is a truth even he is terrified of.
Miss Octavia, I hope you've come with something more important to share than just some criticism of the idealist.
You're right. I have an important message for you. Dr. Torres, I heard you were looking for her. The woman from the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence. She used to write under the name Erd, didn't she?
Yes, that's right. Do you know her? You're the first person I've met here to speak plainly about her. Do you know where she might be?
We crossed paths, but only briefly. I'm not sure where she's gone. Maybe the authorities know. However, she left this with me. I think you'll need it more than I do. We have other matters to attend to. I'll leave you to your business. Garcia, shall we?
The physician told me the horrifying truth about the Panopticon of Kamala and the power behind it. Manus Vindictae. By becoming the Panopticon's sole patron, they seized control of the resources and the allocation system, turning this place into a living hell. I suspect that the physician, the current highest authority here, is responsible for this situation. I discovered that the inmates were put through brutal training, even when they were too sick to carry out their tasks. They also forced pure-blood Arcanist inmates to wear their masks, effectively turning them into murmuring puppets.
Just as we suspected, Manus Vindictae is orchestrating everything. No wonder we didn't find them in the city. They've been hiding here all along.
No one would have thought to come looking for them here.
But why would Miss Octavia bring this to us? What's in it for her? Do you think she's trying to mislead us, Timekeeper?
Maybe. But the handwriting in that notebook is most certainly Erd's. If she's leading us astray on purpose, why? Miss Recoleta, what do you think? Could she be Aleph?
Not a chance. Haven't you seen how she denies everything beautiful in the world? Aleph would never be so biased. No. Aleph is like a mirror. He reflects both light and shadow. But, Octavia, maybe she hasn't looked at the shadow within for a long time. I know that look on her face. It's the look of a writer.
I've seen so many like her during my trip. The faces of a lost, struggling generation.
Dr. Merlin, I'm here to report on today's events.
Come in.
남자는
There was a commotion in the gallery today, sir. An inmate known as the Idealist was severely injured. The inmates nearby said he lost consciousness from blood loss. However, after we put everyone back in their cell, the Idealist was gone. I made a sweep of the grounds, but there was no trace of him. It's possible that he regained consciousness and went into hiding. I'll perform a full search tomorrow.
No need.
뭐야 알레프잖아.
Sir?
He knew the consequences of breaking the rules, did he not?
Sir, with all due respect, I think today's incident proved just how dangerous it is to let the inmates keep their weapons. We never should have let them walk around with deadly weapons. Even if we had to, we should have doubled the guards. We can't expect them to follow their own rules simply out of fear of the central tower.
Such matters fall beyond your purview, jailer. You only need to do what's required of your title. Is there anything else?
There is another thing. 2 guests from the Foundation came through today. They said they were looking for someone named Doris. They've shown a willingness to cooperate, though they were involved with the incident in Corridor Zero. Sir, there is one more thing. I told Miss Octavia we're short on rations, and she's adjusted the inmates' portions accordingly, but that won't last long. Manus Vindicti stopped providing supplies back in March, and Sino has collected all the prisoners they had previously placed in her custody. I just wonder why they have so suddenly withdrawn from Ushuaia and brought all the prisoners with them. I also noticed that we haven't received any orders from the government since Warden Tartuffe was transferred. In fact, we haven't had any communication with them at all. Sir, in frank terms, we're facing down a serious shortage of medicine, food, and basic supplies. At this rate, the Panopticon will soon be unable to operate. Where will our inmates go then? Can we ask the Foundation for help? They've sent their people here. Maybe they're interested in the Panopticon? I could arrange a meeting if you like.
You're unusually talkative today.
Pardon, sir?
That's fascinating, you know. You've become so much more concerned about this place and its inmates than when you first started. You are now dictated by your title.
I didn't mean to overstep. I'm sorry.
You can go now. I have a great deal of work to do. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure this month's Kamala Congress is held according to schedule.
Yes, sir.
How many times have I warned you about this? The Idealist has to go. He's nothing but trouble for us. You're too soft on him, Aleph. Look at the mess he has us in now. Calm down.
He's a rabble-rousing thief, a self-destructive maniac, a snake in the grass. He even stole the Tea of Kamala from me. He's nearly ruined everything we've worked for.
It's only a die, Merlin. It does nothing more than a die can do.
You were there today. You saw what he did. He managed to change the Panopticon with this die, even if only for a second. He'll ruin my work, Aleph. He's a slave to his passion. His head is filled with impulsive thoughts. I don't trust him. We can't trust him. I've done everything you've asked. Now it's time to do your part. Time's ticking down. I can't afford any further mistakes. No one can be permitted to stop my experiment in the Panopticon. I'll prove it to them that we have found the path to the ultimate answer.
베노의 배신자 부대 동향 보고 이상 다방면 정보와 최근 타임키퍼 소대가 전해온 정보를 종합해보면 제노 배신자 부대가 수많은 마도학자가 수감된 카밀라 교도소에 발을 들였다는 것을 확인할 수 있다. 그들은 3월 2일에 우스아이아에서 철수했는데 이러한 움직임은 재관의 손과 관련이 있는 게 분명하다. 현재 배신자 부대의 행방은 아직 확실하지 않으므로 타임키퍼 소대에 추가 정보가 필요하다. 본 정보는 비교적 추잡한 데다가 추정을 바탕으로 한다. 행동 추론 과정과 원본 정보 목록은 첨부 4-28을 참조하길 바란다. 땡땡의 하루 이하 재판 복용량 2정에서 4분의 3정이다. 그러나 제3회 카밀라 의회가 취소되면서 분류된 A1675 시집 2건과 60정 플로르프 마진으로 변경됐다. 회사의 지시에 따라 하루에 한 정 2분의 1정 지금. 하나 2일 11시간 8분 4초 후 그가 머무는 2층 세 번째 계단 왼쪽 8번째 안방 난간이 8mm 파손됐고 32번 타일에 그에 의해 4mm 곱하기 3mm만큼 뜯겼다. 2. 원래 48시간 내에 또 다른 날을 3번 언급했는데 48시간에 25번으로 줄었다. 25번이요. 너무 많이 든 거 아니야? 4일 3시간 7분 8초 후 본래 원고 종이만 모았는데 원고 종이와 거울 조각을 모으게 됐다. 그 후 24시간 동안 총 11개의 거울, 즉 103개의 조각을 모았다. 제6회 카밀라 의회에서 땡땡의 플로세틴과 발프로산 지급이 완벽히 중단되면서 분류된 L6759 문선 4건과 400cm 붕대로 변경됐다. 난간의 시간당 평균 32에 부딪히고 붕대는 4일 14시간 20분 9초에 소진됐다. 그중 89.3cm는 그가 당기는 과정에 몸통에 빠뜨렸다. 11일 6시간 8분 3초 동안 총 15페이지 시를 썼는데 그중 14페이지 찢어버렸고 나머지 한 페이지 삼켜버렸다.
La cabaña con el techo azul estaba silenciosa como siempre. En un sueño fugaz, la investigadora de paracausalidad descubrió la verdad detrás del dado de Babilonia. Examinó cuidadosamente los patrones ocultos, como un astuto astrólogo rastrea los movimientos de las estrellas. Lo que pueda parecer errores o accidentes no niega las verdades del destino. Por el contrario, afirman su existencia. Solo pregúntale al gran Heráclito. En un universo no observado, el dado de Babilonia gira perpetuamente, dictando el destino de todos en un tiempo que es tanto infinitamente largo como infinitamente corto. Mira, cerró los ojos. Respetaba la aleatoriedad de los números y el destino. Respetaba el juicio del dado. De lo contrario, se habría perdido sumisamente en los huecos del tiempo y bajaría para siempre como un fantasma en el olvido.
First, allow me to make one thing clear. I had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to the Idealist yesterday. I swear it on my career as a writer. As you all know, the Idealist and I are the representatives of the two factions of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas. As you also know, we have been at peace since the Let Sleeping Dogs Lie agreement was signed a few months ago. Despite our differing views, we have coexisted to this day under the watchful gaze of the Central Tower. Rest assured that we will work tirelessly to locate the missing Idealist.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself, Miss Octavia. His death wasn't your fault. After all, he was the one who threw the first verbal dagger.
Show some respect, you morons. The Idealist is missing, not dead. I'm sure he'll show up in one piece before we know it.
Better face the hard truth now, Roberta. Though, I have to say, it won't be easy for you to find a no leader as mad as him.
그저 말하는 꼬라지 마라. 사람이 죽었는데.
Please, everyone, quiet down. According to the agreement, today's Congress should have been chaired by the Idealist. Since he is still missing, I will be acting on his...
Pardon my lateness. Go ahead. I'm ready to moderate. Miss Ford, I looked over the incarceration and visitor records from the past 6 months. There was no mention of anyone named Doris.
Yeah?
Then it seems only the physician knows the whereabouts of Dr. Dorez. Miss Jailer, we need to meet with the physician. It's important.
Listen, you really shouldn't take the inmates' ramblings too seriously. But if it's as critical as you say, I'll make another request later. That said, I'm afraid the meeting won't happen for at least a few days.
Understood.
For now, please join us for today's Congress.
Espectacular! Do you hold literary salons like this every day? This place is practically a writer's paradise. So, you're the host of the salon, Octavia? I say we set aside our differences and have a titillating literary discussion.
You've come at the right time. You may serve as witnesses for the Congress alongside the jailer, like a citizen's jury in a court.
왜요?
Your suggestion aligns with the congressional rules. Very well.
Huh? Congress? Witnesses? Isn't this a salon? Which topic are we discussing? Literary theories? Schools? Principles? Languages? Oh, narrative perspectives?
None of those. This Congress is about the randomness of fate, Miss Recoleta.
갑자기 뭔 개소리야?
Randomness of fate?
Dear visitors from the Foundation, allow me to introduce the Comala Congress. What happened yesterday was merely a brief anomaly. In the Panopticon, spontaneous order among the inmates is the norm, and the Comala Congress serves as its truest reflection.
Spontaneous order?
Yes. Through the Congress, the inmates assign and distribute medication, communal duties, and rest periods. They are entirely self-regulated.
I hereby announce the commencement of the 7th Comala Congress.
A cardboard box and... is that a paper die? It has 20 sides.
Huh?
We carefully examine hidden patterns, much like an astute astrologer tracks the movements of the stars.
Isn't this just like the Die of Babylon? The MacGuffin that weaves through the entire plot? The infinite symbiote of fate? And the symbol that compresses time into a shriveled circle?
What may seem like errors or accidents doesn't negate the verities of destiny. On the contrary, they affirm its very existence. Just ask the great Heraclito. In an unobserved universe, the die spins in perpetuity,
dictating the fate of all in time that is both infinitely long and infinitely short?
Look, I've closed my eyes. I respect the randomness of numbers and destiny. I respect the die's judgment.
그냥 미친 도파민 중독자들 아니야?
Otherwise, we will acquiesce and lose ourselves in the gaps of time and wander forever as ghosts in oblivion.
이 느낌 뭐 미래를 보고 글 썼냐? 어떻게 요즘 겹치는 거야?
I don't understand what's going on. Oh, but the irony that I probably have more idea what's going on than anyone here.
Miss Recoleta, this is all in your novel, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. The recitations, the references to an astrologer and Heraclito, they couldn't possibly be just a coincidence. Then, could it be? Will they look to the die to dictate their fate?
I shall perform the first roll. Its result will determine the subsequent roll order for this Congress. The result is 5. This check complies with the prerequisite conditions of the ruling of the die, and the standard roll order has been established. Inmate Jose, please come forth. You are the first in the initiative order. Therefore, fate's judgment shall fall upon you before all else.
Me? Okay. It's 17! Ah, what a wonderful number! 17! Like an oasis in an endless desert!
The result is 17. and the score combination 6 + 4 + 4 + 3. According to the ruling of the die, he shall receive 60 risperidone tablets, 40 clozapine tablets, and 40 diazepam tablets. Additionally, he will assume the role of cultural manager of the Comala Congress. Before he takes office, inmate Jose must clean the first restroom for the next 7 days.
Wonderful! I'll gladly clean the toilet. I've got the brooms here, the toilet detergent, and the toilet brush too. I have been waiting for this opportunity. As cultural manager, I will speak with every inmate and complete the Comala memoir, finally capturing the moments when literary sparks ignite and explode.
Next is inmate Eduardo. Please come forth.
But I can't remember the ruling of the die. I can't remember anything. Damn it. Sorry, Senora Octavia, but I don't think I can do this. I didn't get any medication in the last Congress. I've had multiple episodes. It's like my brain's jammed or something.
It's all right, inmate Eduardo. It's easy. You don't need to know the rules to roll the die. Give me your hand, I'll help you. My sincerest apologies, inmate Eduardo. The die dictates that you must voluntarily descend into the sewers and write the thematic keyword that currently causes you the most anxiety on the walls.
Thank you very much, Miss Octavia. I think my head's about to split in half. I need a moment to rest before I head down there and fulfill my destiny.
Jailer, are you really letting them make every decision with the roll of a die? Eduardo is clearly in a much more dire condition than Jose. The medication should have been given to him.
As I said, this is how the inmates of the Panopticon maintain order. The physician periodically provides medication, food, and other necessities, and the inmates distribute them in this spontaneous and efficient manner. Neither authority nor violence is involved in this process. This is what sets Comala apart from all other custodial facilities.
Is that it? You abdicate all agency to the roll of a paper die and call it the randomness of fate? What kind of sick joke is this?
Please calm down, Recoleta. This is the method that the inmates have collectively decided to recognize. They're prepared to face the possible sacrifices that it brings. This isn't about you or me. It's not our place to interfere with a procedure that has been proven both pragmatic and effective. My duty is to assist the inmates in maintaining order through the methods that they have established. And yours is to witness their self-governance, not judge it.
If everything somehow unfolds as it does in my novel, then every role is already predetermined. Vertin, do you remember the story I told you last night? The odds of both success and failure were consecutively multiplied.
I remember.
As soon as a character experiences a failure, they continue to suffer failures in an endless chain reaction. None of Eduardo's future dice rolls will ever result in a number higher than 10. At this rate, this system, this sociedad, ruled by the dice of Babylon, is bound to collapse. Eduardo will never receive any medication. The moment he writes the keyword on the wall could very well be the moment he spells out his own death. No, I can't let this happen. I have to do something.
네?
Wait, Miss Recoleta, what are you doing?
드롭킥이다. 양적 변화가 일으킨 질적 변화는 실진법의 위대한 연장이다. 그래도 치료율이 303화 12월 1일 704호 733호 클로르프 마진 인정 털리도 마이드 함정 지급 12월 3일 704호부터 710호 712호부터 730호 732호부터 733호 인당 클로르프 마진 3정 탈리도 마이드 3정 이거 중간중간 빠지는 거야? 이거 주는 양은 점점 많아져.
Few soldiers would appreciate the idea of taking orders from an accursed die. A skilled commander would never rely on luck to make decisions.
그치?
On the battlefield, the distance for every maneuver should be clear and precise, not two numbers with a D in the middle. Unless you're looking to invite a mutiny. That said, if a die with such power were placed in a soldier's hand, I'm pretty sure they'd roll it and let it decide their destiny. Exactly. There's no good luck without bad luck. Just as a coin must have two sides. Luck essentially defines one's entire life. And whether it's make or break, life or death, the die will keep on rolling. Of course, dice aren't the only tools used to play with fate. Coins, lotteries, even shells on the beach can all serve the same purpose. Thanks to the randomness of fate, a Babylonian may rise to be a proconsul one day and fall into slavery the next. Well, that's where historians come in. With a little creative editing of the history books, even the random rolls of a die can suddenly make sense. What were once avoidable tragedies are rebranded as reasonable incidents, or even desirable outcomes. You're starting to sound like a gambler. But even gamblers, after hitting a hot streak or a losing spell, start to convince themselves that they've figured out the grand pattern behind games of chance. It isn't just gamblers either. Witches tried to influence fate through rituals and charms. Ancient mathematicians calculated probabilities on paper. Some even wrote books on game theory. Meanwhile, others suspected there were cheaters among them. I just hope these high rollers unite to confront the demon who holds the laws of the universe, the past, present, and future, in its claws, and give it a well done and a slap in the face. Haven't I always? It's just that today, the die rolled a peculiar number. But all things considered, I prefer the other kind of commander. The die is cast, but regardless of what number has been rolled, it's time to cross the river.